What is at stake for AD without LeBron?
Well, there are a couple things. Let me say one. I always thought AD had a chance to be the greatest power forward ever, right? That's Tim Duncan. But given where the level AD was playing early in his career and how many years he'd already done that, once he started winning championships, I figure maybe he can give Duncan a run for his money. And Stephen A., I know they're not power forwards the way like Barkley or Malone were power forwards, but because they also are rim defenders, they're kind of 4-5 hybrids. But still, and Duncan, I thought, is the guy, and AD had a shot at that. Well, stuff like winning championships is really important. And if AD can't keep the Lakers afloat in LeBron's absence, that's going to be harder to do. But I think there's something more immediate in terms of, obviously there are team goals, Stephen A., but the more immediate thing for me in terms of AD, what I want to see from him is when last seen healthy, he was the best big in the game. AD was the best big in the game. And by the way, he proved it against Jokic when Denver got past the Clippers. And Jokic is an MVP-level player last year, right? AD was better. AD's a two-way player. But something's happened since AD's been out. First of all, Jokic has raised his game. Jokic is probably going to win the MVP this year. And Embiid, game for game, has been the best player in basketball this year. He's raised his game. So when AD comes back to the league, when he's getting his legs under him, his sea legs, on the way to the playoffs, hopefully staying healthy and really getting in basketball shape for the playoffs and trying to get in rhythm, it's unclear to me if he's still the best big in the game. That's what I want to see. I want to see AD come back and by the end of this season convince me that that's still the best big in basketball.
Anthony Davis, when healthy, is arguably the best big in basketball. He's certainly in the conversation. He's one of the top 5 players on the planet. This dude is a career 24 and 10 dude with nearly 2.5 blocks per game. He has never, ever in his 9-year career shot worse than 49% from the field. If I have a concern about Anthony Davis, it's 2 things and 2 things only. Number one, it's his health, because he isn't considered to be the most durable person in the world. Obviously so. Number 2, his three-point shooting has dipped over the last 3 years. Used to be at around 34%, went down to 33%, 32%. This season before he got hurt, he was shooting 29% from three-point range. Okay? That has to change. He's going to have to get better in that regard because, again, you have physical big dudes in the Western Conference, and they know that's the way to get to him. Now, the best thing the Lakers could have done, you got to energize a bunny in Montrezl Harrell now as his teammate. He's no longer a Clipper. He's a Laker. But the other issue is that Andre Drummond, that's a big-time pickup because you got a big boy who's capable of throwing his body around against the Jokic's of the world and others. And so because you have that, now you have Anthony Davis being able to be a spy, helping to patrol the front court, not to mention what he brings to you offensively, and none of those dudes take away from him offensively because they're not looking for the basketball. They'll hit the boards to grab offensive rebounds, create extra possessions. They'll hit the boards on the defensive side of the ball to prevent teams from getting more than one shot, which ultimately gives you more opportunities when you get the ball on the offensive side of the ball as well. So I think we recognize this about Anthony Davis, and I think that with him and LeBron healthy, we all anticipate that they're going to the finals to face the Brooklyn Nets, even though the Philadelphia 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks swear they'll have something to say about that. I think when you look at Anthony Davis, for me, it's his health, which I'm not convinced he's fully healthy. And the other thing is his three-point shooting, because he would need to hit some of those outside shots. He can't shoot 29% from three-point range and expect the Lakers to do the kind of damage they did last year in the postseason.
Yeah, look, you're talking about what he needs to do in team goals for the Lakers, and that's really what to be concerned about right now. What I'm saying, Stephen A., is you're like, well, he's arguably the best big in basketball, certainly one of them. Yeah, no kidding, right? But is he the best? Because when he got hurt, he was the best big in basketball. If we had to say, oh, who's been the best big in basketball over his career, last 3 years, last 5 years, when last seen, it's AD. It was AD.
Hold on, Molly. Molly, help me out here, Molly. Am I wrong, Max?
Yeah.
I never recalled you calling Anthony Davis that. I recalled saying that. I thought you said the Greek freak And I thought you said Joel Embiid. A matter of fact, there were now you did acknowledge that Anthony Davis had a chance to be the greatest power forward that ever played basketball. But when you talked about bigs, you never had him as the best.
Well,
when did
I
this
certainly
news come
did.
up?
It's a fluid list, but I certainly did. And if it's not the best big, it's because we're defining bigs as centers who get down in the paint like Embiid. There aren't that many more of those guys really left. Giannis, at times, as you know, I had very highly
because
rated.
you had the Greek Freak, and he wasn't that dude. He was never that dude, but you had
Giannis,
the Greek Freak.
I had very highly rated, as
Yes,
you
you
recall,
did.
and you like to remind me.
Yes, you
Now,
did.
and by the way,
Jokic
I
and
still have him
Embiid,
I
but not
still
the Greek
have him very
Freak.
highly rated.
Okay.
I did think, especially after last year's playoffs, what AD and LeBron did, AD was the best big in the game. When last he best big in the game? Well, okay, we can go back and look. That's what I thought, if you don't remember me saying it.
No,
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
No.
because Jokic and Murray got to the Western Conference Finals where they saw LeBron and AD and showed them what the next level looks like. Okay. The point is, he's coming back to a league where Jokic has raised his game, where Embiid has raised his game. I'll remind you what I told you off the top of the show. Embiid's offensive and defensive ratings plus his usage rate, if the season ended today, he would have numbers no one's ever had. The only other guys on the list with him in the top 5 are Michael Jordan 3 times and KD once. He is having a phenomenal season. He's in the best shape we've ever seen him in. He's on a team with shooters, and that's constructed to help him. And so both ends of the floor, not like Jokic where you go, yeah, offensively maybe he's the best, but what about the defense? And AD's got defense. Embiid's doing it both ends of the floor. No, I need to see AD reestablish himself as the best big in the game.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.